To me, it's just hatred towards this young lady. Only thing she's doing, like you said, is out here. She's playing the game
She's
of
just trying to play
basketball, and
basketball.
she's having fun.
I love her game. A lot like Steph. She reminds me of
Yep.
Steph Curry a lot.
Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined.
Instead of just joining the league, what happens if one individual completely controls it? The excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark is more complicated than it first appears. It's a total takeover. Her electrifying skills and fearless style of play have captivated fans, commentators, and even the game's greatest legends. No WNBA player has ever inspired this degree of admiration and conversation among NBA icons, the same legends who set the standard for brilliance. The fact that they are now talking about Caitlin's impact shows how important she has become. With her unmatched prowess on the court and record-breaking performances, she is not just playing but also changing the game and inspiring the next generation of athletes. However, this is where things start to get interesting. Not everyone is celebrating her rise. She has been questioned, criticized, and even the target of attempts to discredit her. And two legends have taken over because of this. Michael Jordan and Larry Bird have had enough, and what they have to say could drastically alter the narrative. Stay tuned for their rendition of Caitlin Clark's Trip, which you won't want to miss. To truly understand this moment, we must now look at another legend, Allen Iverson. He was one of the biggest stars of his era and had a significant influence on basketball culture, much like Caitlin Clark does now. Both were already well known in college. Before entering the professional ranks, they both had high expectations, which they both fulfilled. They weren't the most physically dominant players as compared to other top prospects, but their extraordinary talent and self-assurance more than made up for it. Iverson was the greatest idol for a generation. After his powerful crossover shocked defenders and altered the game, it took years for the league to adjust. Today's young girls are staring at Caitlin Clark in the same manner and trying to play like her by copying her actions. Iverson acknowledges the same trait, and in a recent interview, he explained why Caitlin is such a game changer by breaking down her skill set and mindset.
Shoot the blood out of the ball. You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, you know, and not just scoring in basketball, getting her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure watching her, and I just think down the road she's going to...
It's hardly surprised that Allen Iverson chooses to praise Caitlin Clark as he immediately recognizes her as a potent offensive force, the same role he played in his prime. They were given the responsibility of leading their clubs offensively as soon as they joined the league. In such a job, Iverson stressed the importance of assertiveness. But what truly distinguishes mediocre players from all-time greats is their exceptional playmaking, and Caitlin Clark is a master at it. Despite being one of the team's least experienced members, she is immediately helping everyone around her. These players are known as floor raisers. They enhance their teammates just by being there, being serious, and giving their all to the game. Iverson proved this by winning games and guiding a team lacking offensive prowess to the NBA Finals. The real question today is what Caitlin Clark will become at her finest. Iverson believes she will only become better, and she will surely continue to learn how to make her team even better. But for it to happen, the Indiana Fever need to surround her with the right players, much like any great team. Iverson was not just successful but also entertaining. Fans went to stadia to see his amazing highlights, which is another similarity between him and Caitlin Clark. These players make every ticket worthwhile. But that focus is followed by pressure. Iverson faced harsh criticism from the media during his career. In contrast, Caitlin Clark seems astonishingly calm and media-savvy for her age. In every interview, she says the right things and steers clear of unnecessary controversy. Charles Barkley, another NBA legend, has also noticed it. Barkley is the best person to understand how difficult it is to combine performance and public perception.
She never says a word. And now, when I watch her, two things I like. She's playing much faster, much faster. She was playing too slow the first half of the season.
From the
first of
college
all,
season.
they didn't even give her the understanding, like, you girls been ready for the WNBA season. Y'all been working out on the...
Caitlin Clark's accomplishments go well beyond her point total. The secret to her success in every aspect of the game, both on and off the court, is her mindset and heart ethic. When she joined the league, organizations and fans put a lot of pressure on her, but she exceeded all expectations. By receiving punches from opponents and participating in physically taxing games, she has shown that she is more tough than many had predicted. What truly stands out, though, is her continued improvement. Over the season, she has improved and quickly learned how to outperform her WNBA opponents. And that's not easy, considering how different collegiate and professional basketball are. The majority of people don't realize how fast-paced, physically taxing, and demanding the WNBA is. That issue is considerably more challenging for Caitlin because competing teams are specifically targeting her. She has undoubtedly prepared extensively, which is the only way to handle things. This part of her game surprised a lot of observers, who initially believed she was just a gifted player without remarkable physical qualities. Domination, however, can manifest itself in a variety of ways. Even Shaquille O'Neal, who is often considered the greatest player of all time, recognizes brilliance in a number of ways. He has openly stated that Stephen Curry is his current favorite player despite having somewhat different bodies. Shaq thinks Caitlin Clark is equally exceptional. Angel Reese even praised her on his podcast, comparing her impact to that of Steph Curry and explaining how both athletes infused their respective leagues with new energy.
You think people love Caitlin Clark besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point. Steph Curry, a little kid. Like Steph Curry, I love, you know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit in Mahmoud Abdul-Roh, but I've never seen a guy consistently come down. And if you look at, like if you saw Steph on the street, he ain't got the LeBron muscles. He's not 6'9", he's 6'10". He look like a perfect, normally office guy. Yeah. He's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent.
The clear realization that Caitlin Clark is doing things that no other WNBA player has ever done was one of the most important lessons learned from that conversation. Angel Reese agreed. Her response, however, failed to give Caitlin the credit she deserved and limited her brilliance to simply making deep threes from the logo. You can't just do that, let's be honest. To master that incredibly difficult skill, years of practice, confidence, and accuracy are required. Because it is exceptional rather than just ostentatious, fans are drawn to it. Shaquille O'Neal is more aware of this than anyone else, and he made it clear that it is precisely this unique talent that is drawing new fans to WNBA arenas. His comments, though, appear to be a subtle jab at Angel Reese, who has openly declared that Caitlin Clark isn't the only reason the league is becoming more popular. But there is a noticeable difference, especially when it comes to Reese's lack of long-range Shaq's position. Thanks to Caitlin Clark, the league is getting a lot of attention. The arrival of the moment that actually altered everything. Michael Jordan finally spoke up, and he didn't hold back. He claims that the WNBA owes Caitlin Clark a great deal for her services to the game. But he didn't stop there. He also criticized the officiating, saying that the league needs to make amends because she has been treated unfairly by the officials. It makes a powerful statement. When the greatest player of all time says something like that, people pay heed. His comments made it clear that Caitlin Clark is a true game-changer whose impact cannot be ignored any longer. At the same time, the league's growing popularity has been greatly influenced by her rivalry with Angel Reese. History seems to be repeating itself. In the 1970s, the NBA had trouble attracting enough viewers for live broadcasts. But when two players from different generations, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, entered the scene as rivals, everything changed. Their historic NCAA championship matchup not only broke records but also sparked a massive increase in interest in basketball. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are currently experiencing a similar period in women's basketball.
Popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best later on by our play. Caitlin still has to play great to become the best.
This rivalry is a major factor in the WNBA's present growth, and it is becoming more difficult to ignore the comparisons to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. At the time, the NBA was struggling to gather momentum, but their rivalry changed everything by raising the level of competitiveness, excitement, and interest in the league. It seems like history is repeating itself at the moment. One of the main reasons the NCAA women's tournament broke viewing records was the intense rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. When both athletes entered the WNBA at the same time, that momentum persisted and resulted in a surge of new fans and media attention. The comparison has become so strong that Magic Johnson himself has acknowledged it. He agrees, surprisingly. He addressed the important point that being the most popular player does not mean being the best, even though he thinks Caitlin Clark has the same potential. He emphasized that neither he nor Larry Bird were the best players when they first joined the NBA. They become the best by consistent performance over time. Caitlin Clark still has that route ahead of her. Magic Johnson, the owner of the Los Angeles Sparks and a longtime supporter of the WNBA, has always believed the league would grow into a major sports business. That vision is starting to come to pass. He saw a strong connection between the WNBA's rise and the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, comparing it to his own disputes with Larry Bird. If things continue in this way, the league may experience the same degree of cultural and economic growth as the NBA did in the 1980s. Moreover, popularity is not the sole consideration. It also relates to how the game is played. Teams and young athletes are already being impacted by Caitlin Clark's extraordinary potential. Basketball was completely transformed by the unique approaches of Magic and Bird. When Magic joined the league, his basketball IQ and vision revolutionized offenses and raised the standard for point guards. And Caitlin Clark might do the same in the WNBA.
Coming from one rookie of the year to another, even though mine was 19 years ago, one of the biggest things after winning Rookie of the Year, because that's a big deal, first of all. That's a huge achievement and you should be proud. But going forward, I think the biggest thing I tried to focus on was getting stronger. I wanted to get stronger, I wanted to get faster, I wanted to be better on defense. But more than anything, I tell you, the biggest people that I leaned on was my family.
When talking about the ideal point guard, a player who comprehends defenses, controls the game, and enhances everyone, Chris Paul is often brought up. He is considered the perfect specimen of a traditional point guard due to his remarkable playmaking skills and scoring ability. In many ways, Caitlin Clark is exhibiting the same level of power on the court. She is destroying defenses, creating opportunities, and managing the game's flow in a way that looks much beyond her experience. Chris Paul even drew a metaphorical parallel between Caitlin Clark's Rookie of the Year season and his own early career. Instead of just joining the league, what happens if one individual completely controls it? The excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark is more complicated than it first appears. It's a total takeover. Her electrifying skills and fearless style of play have captivated fans, commentators, and even the game's greatest legends. No WNBA player has ever inspired this degree of admiration and conversation among NBA icons, the same legends who set the standard for brilliance. The fact that they are now talking about Caitlin's impact shows how important she has become. With her unmatched prowess on the court and record-breaking performances, she is not just playing but also changing the game and inspiring the next generation of athletes. However, this is where things start to get interesting. Not everyone is celebrating her rise. She has been questioned, criticized, and even the target of attempts to discredit her. And two legends have taken over because of this. Michael Jordan and Larry Bird have had enough, and what they have to say could drastically alter the narrative. Stay tuned for their rendition of Caitlin Clark's Trip, which you won't want to miss. To truly understand this moment, we must now look at another